It's a common misconception that you need to practice to improve. But practicing for hours won't get you far when you don't know what you're doing wrong. You will just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Only when you know what mistakes to avoid, practicing is the right thing to do. After critiquing my students' works, I found that they made big leaps in their skill levels even though I only pointed out a few simple mistakes in their art. So, in this video, I thought I'd share with you the 3 most common mistakes I see in beginner art and how you can avoid them without having to practice for hours on end. Like my students Monet and Maria, who improved a lot after they took my Zoom courses and Patreon lessons. I simply pointed out a few weak spots in my critique sessions and they could avoid these mistakes in their future works. These paintings are from before they took my classes, and these are paintings from after. Impressive, right? So let's begin with the first common mistake most beginner artists make. Don't limit yourself by using just one medium. Many beginner artists hinder their growth by using just one medium or one technique when creating art. Mostly due to no fault of their own, because their teachers told them that they are not supposed to combine different mediums or they have to paint in a particular technique like fat over lean for oil paintings or wet and wet with watercolors. So they don't try out new things because they are afraid of messing their art up. But Picasso once said, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. It's essential to gain an understanding of the materials you work with, but I encourage you to experiment with as many mediums and techniques as possible to do things no one ever did before. In the example of my students, I pointed out that they can always use gouache to correct whatever mistakes they find in their paintings. Especially when painting with watercolors or color pencils, which are semi-transparent mediums, the only way to make corrections is to use an opaque medium that provides 100% coverage, like gouache paint. What I did here for edits in Photoshop can be easily done with gouache. Gouache is my favorite opaque medium when working with watercolors and color pencils, as it stays water soluble and can always be wiped off. My students are often astounded when I tell them that they can correct their watercolor artworks by using gouache. It's also great for adding details like highlights or shine on jewelry and metal, and I even use it to lighten up areas in a portrait when they turned out too dark. And as you can see in my students' new paintings, they applied my mixed media technique very successfully. So just remember that even if you're a beginner artist, you don't need to strictly follow the rules everyone tells you. You can question and break them and make your own experiences. Don't be afraid to mess up your art. This is part of the process. Here are some more examples of mixed media techniques that I discovered for myself by trying new things out. For example, painting with oils on top of acrylics. Acrylics dry super quickly, which is a tremendous help when I need to paint complicated things that needs lots of layers, like this glacier landscape in the background of this painting. But because of their short drying times, I can't make subtle color transitions with them, which I need for portraits. Here you can see that I try to paint the portrait in acrylics, but it looks really rough and patchy. So I switched to oils and you can see how big the difference between the before and after is. Oil paints take long to dry, but they allow for smooth transitions. So everywhere I need very smooth blendings, often it's just the skin areas like face and body, I use oil paints and simply paint them on top of my acrylic layer. Another thing I recently started doing is using spray paint, which gives me fantastic effects like graffiti art. Here in this painting I used acrylic spray on the wings to make them look soft and translucent. In this painting I used stencils to paint this complicated Art Nouveau wing. I used a cutting machine to make stencils out of sticky paper, which I stuck to my canvas so that I could paint on top of it. This was so much fun and created a very cool effect. Another technique I recently discovered is using watercolor masking fluid for my acrylic paintings. Here I used it to paint this complicated Klimt-inspired pattern. Masking fluid is actually made for watercolors, but it works perfectly with acrylics too, and it helped me a lot in painting this detailed pattern. And speaking of watercolor, I would like to thank today's video sponsor Etcher Lab. The team of Etcher Lab sent me this beautifully selected set of 12 hand-picked vegan-friendly metallic glitter watercolors. The set is available as a golden and a versatile set. For me, the golden palette is perfect, as almost all of my paintings have gold in them. The pearlescent colors are different from regular metallic paints. They are not overly pigmented and glittery. which often bothers me when I want to use metallic paints anywhere else than in the background of my paintings. The pearlescent watercolor paints from Etcher have a subtle shine, hence the name, making them more versatile, and I can use them in every part of my painting. In this artwork, I used them to paint the hair. I also love that I now have so many different shades of gold. My favorites are steel, olive and coffee, because they are excellent for dark areas. I find these colors truly inspiring, and I can't wait to try them out in my next paintings. The team from Etcher also sent me mini palettes, gouache and watercolor brushes. And I couldn't be more delighted with the quality of their products. For most gouache techniques, you need small and medium-sized flat brushes, and the Etcher set provides a great selection of these. I've used their brushes for this painting and my most recent commission, and I loved working with them. I also love their matte finish and the beautiful linen pouches they come in, which are super handy, especially when traveling. If you like to get yourself the pearlescent watercolor set, the brushes, or any other inspiring products from Etcher, follow the link in the video description. Now let's get to the next common beginner mistake: symmetry. It might sound trivial at first, but check out these examples here. This is how the artwork looked before, and this is after I did a subtle correction in symmetry. Before and after. This is quite the difference, isn't it? Although I only corrected a simple thing: the symmetry of these faces. Most beginner artists think that asymmetry is natural and that their art would look fake when it's perfectly symmetrical. But I don't want you to mirror your faces exactly. You just need to paint them somewhat symmetrical, like having the eyes on one horizontal level, making them the same size, painting an even jaw and hairstyle. Like these examples here. Also, simply centering your subject in the middle of the canvas helps a lot too. It will look much better than having it a bit too much on the left or a bit too much on the right. This is probably one of the easiest things you can do as a beginner artist. Have a look at these before and after pictures. This artwork here, for example, looks already beautiful, but centering it improved it even more. Or this one. Or this one. And when you add more elements to your composition, making the whole painting somewhat symmetrical is a huge improvement. I am using Photoshop to make sure my composition looks good, and I mirror my image to check if it looks good even if flipped. This here doesn't look so great, for example. But when I move the figure a bit to the side, it suddenly works so much better. Don't paint reality. The next common mistake that artists do is painting reality, aka painting from a photograph. But this happens when you paint from a photo. It will just look like the photo. But check out what happens when you do some changes to this photo. This looks so much better, doesn't it? And I do this with all my paintings. Whenever I take photos of myself or of models, I always change facial features or the shape of body parts to make them look better. You can do that digitally like I do, or traditionally like sketching your reference and changing up things you don't like. In my last oil painting class, for example, I encouraged my students to get creative and paint the hair of the model more flowy and dynamic. And as you can see, the hair looked so much more interesting than in the photo. Beginner artists often get this wrong. They think the more photorealistic they depict their reference, the better their art will look. But that is entirely wrong. No great artist paints just plain reality, because frankly, it's uninteresting and bland. If you think of history's great artists, you can easily see that they didn't just paint what they saw. Monet, Klimt, Van Gogh, they all painted what looked most beautiful and aesthetically pleasing to them. They manipulated colors in a way that they looked vibrant and glowing, like these paintings here. Klimt changed the human form in the most strangest ways, like this ghostly figure, and they simply made things up when what they saw wasn't beautiful enough to them. So, as an easy trick to help beginner artists get better without practicing a lot more, is to pick better references from the start and manipulate them. If you think your reference looks bland and you hope it looks better once it's painted, it won't. Trust me, I speak from experience. Instead, pick a reference that you like from the start and change up the parts that you don't like and that you think could need improvements, like this example here. Now, if you want to learn how you can make beautiful references too and turn them into stunning paintings, join me on Patreon. I teach you how you can manipulate photos digitally and how to create beautiful art with my mixed media painting techniques in over 200 step-by-step tutorials and painting videos. Many of my lessons are beginner-friendly and come with a sketch to print out, references, and a material list. Each lesson guides you through the creation process of one of my artworks, and you can paint along with me while listening to my voiceover. Follow the link in the video description and join me on Patreon. So I hope you can avoid these mistakes yourself and improve your art without having to practice super long. Have you done some of these mistakes yourself? Let me know in the comment section. For me personally, the biggest thing I'm always struggling with is symmetry, and you can always find a few symmetry mistakes in probably all of my artwork. But I believe I definitely improved over time. Here's an older work of mine. And yeah, it's quite uneven, and this is a newer work, so I've improved a lot, but I use a lot of help too. So I always use mirrors and an app called InCollage, which is super helpful. I even made a video about it. This is definitely a thing I struggle with a lot. And choosing and manipulating the perfect references for my paintings is also a thing that is probably one of the most challenging things. And every artwork is a new struggle for me. But I love it and it makes me happy, so I don't mind the struggle. Yeah, so I hope this video was helpful for you and I see you in the next one. Bye bye!